Spatial relations? What are you talking about, Perdie? Well, thanks for asking. There's a really big, long explanation to this, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to give you a quick one. I got to change glasses, excuse me. Because if you've seen my other videos, you know I can't see anything without, well, I can see, but I can't read without glasses on. Here we go. Okay, I got it all written out. It says, a spatial relation specifies how some object is located in space in relation to some reference object. There you go. But what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. It means I have trouble parking. Okay, well, I have other spatial problems, but that's the one that sparked this video. We'll talk about those later, and I bet you have some of those problems too. Parking. So simple. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm straight in those lines, and other times I'm over a little too far. And then other times I'm crooked. Why I can't be more consistent? I've been driving for a very long time. You'd think I could do it better. I don't know. I don't even drive that big a vehicle. It's a crossover SUV, which is, now it sits up higher, has better ground clearance, but is about the same dimensions as a mid-sized sedan. It's a car. I just call it a car and call it a cross. Hey, I'm going to go take my crossover SUV. Yeah, no, car. Drives me crazy. And I got to admit, I'm not the only one that has problems, and I'm wondering if you do too. Sometimes I'll be out in a parking lot, and I'm not always ready to get out of the car to go into the store. Sometimes maybe I'm eating something or just listening to the tail end of a song, because there's certain songs you just have to listen to the whole song because, you know, they make you happy. And I'll be watching, I'm a people watcher, I watch people, so I'm watching the cars, and I tell you, some days there's people, and they pull in, and they pull back, and they adjust, they go forward, they come back, they adjust. I can relate to that. I can relate to that because I've been known to do that. But then there's the people, well, that either just, you know, they get it straight the first time, but the ones that really impress me are the ones that back into a spot. Perfect first time. Seriously, I want to get out of my car and just applaud them because they did such a great parking job. It's the dumbest thing. It drives me nuts. Anyway, I can tell you a little story. Years ago, like years and years and years and years and years ago, the old guy and I were going out to dinner. And we went to a place we hadn't been before. It's off a busy street in a city. And, you know, there's the building. And then there was a parking lot in the front. It was very small and it was full. And then there were two laneways that took you to the back where there was more parking. The one on the left side, because that's my left side. The one up, I forgot something. Okay, I gotta go get it. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Totally forgot my rings. I feel naked without my jewelry on. Oh. Okay, so building, front parking lot, two laneways to go to the back to park. The left side was a one-way going to the back, and the right side was a one-way coming out to the front to get back on the road. So the old guy's driving, and it would have been a company vehicle, so it would have been a nice-sized vehicle. Like not a little compact car or anything, no. So we're going down this way, and there's parking on both sides of these laneways. Pretty wide, right? It's parking, driving, parking. Building, parking, driving, parking. I need a whiteboard. Okay, this is what it looked like. Okay, so we're driving down, and there's a spot on the left-hand side. So he goes zip, 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 zip. Parallel parks. On the left side, perfectly. Usually you park on the right side. This is left side, so everything is, all the directions are switched over. I was really impressed. I do believe I told him so, because I couldn't do that. I have issues parallel parking. I can do it if I absolutely, like if my life depended on it, I could parallel park. But I'm more of a not parallel parker person kind of thing. Anyway, while we're on the subject of driving and roads, why is it that there's always enough asphalt for a new speed bump, but there's never enough asphalt for potholes. Okay, hang on. Okay, wake up. Thank you. Okay, so where I live right now, it's winter. Now, we've had several days of rather high, unusual temperatures. And before that, it's been very mild for this time of year. So most of our snow and ice is melted, which you'd think is a good thing, except now the parking lots are roads are clear, which is good for driving. Sidewalks are good, which are clear, which is good for walking. And the parking lots are now snow-free. However, now I really do have to park between those lines because you see, when it's snowy and icy, you can't see them. So then you just park in relation, spatial relation, to other cars. You know, you have two cars, it's like, nope, I can't fit in there. Well, go park over here. No big deal. Don't have to worry about lines. However, there is one thing you do have to worry about. Well, it's the snow and the ice because, one, I'm old, I don't want to slip and fall. And two, talking grocery stores here, if you live where it's snowy in the winter, you know what it's like to push a shopping cart over a snowy and icy, or just snowy or just icy parking lot. It's horrible. So, $1 million idea. If one of you wants to try this, you know, you can kick some royalties back on me because it's my idea. Front wheel drive shopping cart with snow tires. Got it? Good. Do it. I have a PSA for you. That's a public service announcement. First of all, let's double check because sometimes I want to get this right. They're very important, you know. Okay, here we go. Oh yes, it's very simple. There are 2 rules in life. Number 1, never, ever tell people everything. Of course, my spatial relationship problem is not just limited to parking. I do have other things that I have problems with, like laundry. Laundry. So I go down, got my little basket, I start putting stuff in the washer, and I just get everything in there. I want to get it done in one load. Otherwise, it's up and down the stairs because it's in the basement. It's just one room over from where I am. And I'm old. I don't need to be going up and down those basement stairs that much. So I shove everything in there, and then you're like, whoa, that's not going to be good. It's just too much, not going to get cleaned. Okay, so you got to pull some of it out, and then you got to do 2 loads anyway. And I'm thinking, should have done it right the first time. Spatial. It's a spatial thing. So I want to tell you guys this. The old guy and I, we have this, a friend, a younger guy. He's not super young, but he's younger than us because, you know, everybody's younger than us. Very social fella. He goes out and then he'll come over and he regales us with all these crazy stories of what he does when he's out and people he meets and things that happen. So he said he was at a really nice bar the other night. Excuse me. And in hops a grasshopper. His eyes open wide, and before he could, you know, even say anything, the bartender sees the grasshopper and he says, "Oh, hey, we have a drink named after you." The grasshopper hops up on a stool and looks at the bartender and says, "Oh, you have a drink named Jared?" So back to spatial stuff. I have a tendency of vexing the old guy. You know, I'm a nice person. I like to help. Sometimes he's doing something and, you know, he's like, "Perdie, can you come and hold this for me?" Or "Can you come and do the," you know, whatever, help him. So I'll go out where, basement, outside, wherever he's doing something. Whether he's putting something together or fixing something broken or whatever is going on. He'll be doing something and maybe it's not going quite the way it's supposed to and he's perhaps getting a little annoyed. And I'll be like, "Well, why don't you take this and turn it and then put it in? Or why don't you blah, blah, do this or do that?" And he'll look at me and he'll say, "Do you really think that's going to fit?" Yeah, there's a little bit of derision in there because you know what? Spatial problems, it won't fit. Poor guy, I drive him up the wall. Anyway, I got one more that I can think of offhand. I mean, I have a lot of spatial problems. Okay. leftovers. And you're thinking, oh, Perdie, what do leftovers have to do with spatial relations? But I know some of you were going, oh yeah, I don't have to go any farther. And you're like, oh yeah. But you gotta go get a plastic container, you know, we'll use the word Tupperware in the generic term rather than the brand term. You gotta go get a Tupper, right? And if you're anything like me, and I suspect, you know, like I'm saying, some of you probably are, it's either way too big or too small. So you either put it in, it's too small, and then you got to go get a bigger one, and then you empty that into it, and then you put the rest of it in, and then you got an extra dirty Tupper. Or it's just not big enough, and you have or not big enough? No, the other way. The Tupper's too big. The Tupper's too big. You put your stuff in, and there's hardly anything, you know. And at that point, you're usually like, oh, forget it. Put it in the fridge. We're going to have it tomorrow anyway. I'm getting a little hoarse here. I don't know why. It's strange. I think it's the dryness in the winter, and the house is dry, and I'm dry, and I should probably have some water, but I'm not. I got something else to say, and what is it? Oh, leftovers. Yeah, the stupid leftovers. Anyway, so I want to know in the comments, can you relate to this? Do you have the same problem or a similar problem? Let me know. And then in the meantime, I got places to go, people to see, and a Tupperware drawer that really does need to be organized. But wait for the riddle. Okay. Now, I always forget my riddle when I get to it. Okay, there we go. What is the most difficult part of being a parent? The kids. Okay, see you next time.